What's up, YouTube? So the new character Arabella just released. I cannot show you her splash because I'm pretty sure it will go against YouTube. So we're just gonna look at Rita's splash for now, and then let's see what Arabella does. Now Arabella is a limited unit, so if you have the resources to get dupes for her, you should, because just because she is limited, but by no means does she require any dupes to work to actually work. But here are her cards right here. Her basic attacks is actually AoE, so she's pretty good AoE dealer, and it adds one fracture to everybody. This is just a shielding. Right here, this is Scream for me. This is her lead card, and this does some damage, and then 2 fracture to all enemies, and then 4 fracture to the enemy with the highest HP. And then if we see the epiphanies, the 4 goes to 6, and the first one just gives more fracture. This one buffs her future cards attacks. This one says 2 fracture to all enemies and 1 fracture for each type of harmful effect. So this one you want to cast this first. This one you kind of want to cast this last, right? Which is kind of weird because this is a lead card, but you kind of want to cast this after you've already inflicted everybody with harmful effects. This one is draw 2 the units. This one's utility, and then this one is 2 fracture, 4 agony, and 2 scorch to all enemies. So if you want to, you could get 2 scream for me's, right? You could epiphany this one, cast this one, and then get this one, and then cast this one. So it gives a bunch of fractures to everybody. Next card is Observer's Pleasure. 1 fracture. This is a skill. It's a targetable skill. It's also unique. 1 fracture amplification for each enemy present. 20% damage amount to this unit for 1 turn. So this is just like a damage amplification. And this one, you kind of want to use it with the previous one, with the multiple harmful effects, right? 1 fracture amplification. And what fracture amplification is when fracture inflicted by allies is activated, 1 fracture to the target, and if there is only 1 enemy, 2 fracture, increase damage amount of fracture inflicted by Arabella by 20%. So it's kind of like a apply and reapply and then increase the damage, right? And what this is when it applied to a different target, remove fracture amplification. So only 1 person can have fracture amplification, I believe. And then this one is for each time a harmful effect hits that target, 20% damage amount for 1 turn, max up to 120, so max up to 6 times. And this one is unique and lead. 1 fracture amplification, 2 fracture, and 2 vulnerable to all enemies. Increase damage amount of attack cards of this unit by 50% for 1 turn. So if you really want to like boost up Arabella's damage, you get this one, and then the other card also for like a 50 plus 50% damage boost. So 50 on top of 50. For 1 turn, 80% damage amount to this unit, and when allies defeat an enemy during that, transfer fracture of that target to 1 random enemy. So this one is pretty good for like a single target as well. But this one is usually the one that people always get. At the start of the turn, 1 fracture amplification and 6 fracture to the enemy with the highest HP. So it's at the start of the turn, so you automatically apply a fracture amplification, and this is an opener, so you don't have to. So this happens before the start of the turn, so you automatically get this. It's very, very good, very, very good. Next card is Hollow Verdict. And this is, we're just going to read this one. 2 fracture, 48 damage, and 2 fracture to all enemies, and activate fracture inflicted by this unit. So you kind of want to apply the fractures first, and then use this card. So you kind of want to use this card, like, make it be the second or third card that you use. Epiphany. This one is unique, so it changes to you could make multiple copies of this card, but you can only have one of this card because it's unique, right? 72% damage and 3 fracture to all enemies, and the fracture implication is activate fracture inflicted by all allies. So what this means is if the target is in a fracture amplification state, enable this effect. So you should be able to have this each and every single turn, because if you had the other card Epiphany to the opener, because then you automatically get fracture amplification, right? So very, very nice. And this is by all allies, so including the other two as well, I believe. This one is basically the same thing, but activate fracture inflicted by this unit only. This is why it's not a unique, because it's only Arabella and not the rest of the team. This one is 2 fracture to all enemies, and if you kill somebody with this card, this is why it's 432 damage. Activate fracture inflicted by this unit on all enemies. So 1 time per turn. So if you kill somebody, it activates fracture on everybody else. This one is fracture and 4 enemies, so this one adds another layer of DOT to everybody. Fracture application, activate agony inflicted by allies. So this one's not very useful because agony is not very useful right now, but if they ever decide to release an agony unit, you could copy Hollow Verdict to make Arabella a sub DPS that basically detonates the agony for the other teammate as well. This one is 110% damage to all and remove all fracture inflicted by allies. And so instead of activating the fractures by the allies, it removes them, and then you reapply fracture, the amount of fracture removed, twice to the target with fracture amplification. So you move this from everybody. Remember, fracture amplification can only affect one. So you basically this is like an AoE, or like a AoE that kind of funnels it into one. So let's say you have like 4 characters with 2 fractures on it. So, or 4 characters with 2 fractures on it. So you have what, 8 fractures in total. You use this, you remove all the fractures, and then you put it on one unit. So that one, the fracture amplification unit has 8, and everybody else has 0. Next is Sadistic Restraint. We're going to look at the base card. Activate fracture inflicted by this unit 2 times. And add 1 hit for each harmful effect to the enemy that the enemy has. So if they already have fracture, you can have fracture, agony, and burn. I think those are the 3 most common ones that you're gonna be having with the Arabella deck, and you max those out and you add 1 hit for each of those. And this is not AoE, by the way. This is just single target. We're going to go to the Epiphanies. Unique, 120 damage. It boosts it up by a lot. Add 1 hit for each harmful effect, and fracture amplification. Activate fracture inflicted by allies. So if the character has fracture amplification, this will activate it for all allies. This one is 72 and hits 4 times. And activate fracture inflicted by this unit twice. Fracture amplification, you draw a card. This one's very good utility as well. This one is if you kill something with this, you move this card to the hand 2 times per turn. And since this one is a one cost, this is useful, but you kind of want the Epiphany to reduce its cost down by 1, so that's a 0 cost Sadistic Restraint that you kind of just cycle, right? Very, very cool. This is a lead card, so it could be reduced down to 1. 48 damage times 2, or times 4 to random enemies, so it attacks random enemies. 2 fracture on each hit, and if the cost of this card is decreased, add 1 hit. Remember, lead cards only have a 50-50 chance of actually reducing. This one is 70% damage and activate fracture of this unit twice. Add 1 hit for each fracture inflicted by units that was activated this turn, max 5 times. This one's a little bit difficult to use because you need to proc the fractures, or like have cards proc the fractures, and then you use this card at the very end. So this is kind of like a finisher card. And then her unique, every single unit has this unique, or not every single unit, but this is like her animation card. 300 damage to all enemies and increased damage amount by 20% for each harmful effect the target has. Max up to a maximum of 180. And fracture amplification 2 times base damage amounts. So this one increases up to 600, which is kind of crazy. So that's just like a nuke card that's ready to go, right? And then this is her partner right here, Licinia. And what this does is increases the combat's attack by 16%, and when fracture is applied through Arabella, you get 10% crit chance. So you're always going to be applying fracture, so it's an automatic 10% crit chance. And when fracture is activated through an ability of the Sign Combat, inflict viral toxin on the enemy. And this is a buff that does not have or that doesn't go away, right? Once you have this, it'll stay for the rest of the battle, which is increased damage amount taken from the Sign Combat by 4, maximum of 4 stacks, so up to 16. And I believe this card, if you have the Moolah, Licinia is a very, very good unit, or a very, very good partner to actually fully limit break, because at full limit break, this changes from 10% crit chance to 20% crit chance. Actually, very, very big. Next up is her potentials. Her potentials don't really, I mean, it's just the basic potentials, right? Just the crit damage, crit chance. And this one is if Arabella's attack is 600% or 600 or higher, 5% instinct, and for every 20 attack that exceeds 600, add additional 2% modifier, up to a total of 10%, so 5. So yeah, that's quite a bit of a jump right there. Right here, so I believe this is if it's up to 700, I believe. Oh, 700 attack to max it out. This is her other epiphany right here. This is just her basic attack right here. I believe, yeah, 5% damage, and then if Arabella's additional, so you don't really need, like, if you're running low on stuff, you don't really need this basic card proficiency right here. But I kind of wanted this divine epiphany chance, 25%, so I got it. But you could very easily just not get this or this and just opt out with these right here. And then this one adds the falling effect to diagonal slash when fracture. This is also very good for kind of like the early game of Chaos before you remove this card. So I would just get that just for the early game of Chaos. Now for her set that she uses, it's going to be the Sanguine Thorn plus the Executioner's Tool, because even though she's dot, her dots can crit, fractures can crit, so critical hit chance is very, very important on her. So don't think of this girl as sort of like Tressa, where crit chance doesn't matter. You just want to just go all the way all in on attack, right? Crit chance and crit damage does matter. So these are the two sets that you kind of want to get on her, and then try to get damage. These are basically the 4 that you want, right? Attack percentage, crit damage, and damage over time, and crit chance. I have like all your pieces should have like at least 3 out of those 4, which mine does, but it's not as good as I want it to be, so I'm still farming for some more parts of that. But let's go to ego manifestation. Now, her first ego manifestation is 50% damage to the Art of Unmaking, which is this one right here, which is 250, so it changes to 250 to 300. And then that also kind of like doubles, so think of it as like a 100% damage boost actually. Increased damage by 50% for each type of harmful effect on target, max 120 effect, and increases damage amount by 20%. So that's kind of like a good boost to that one. This one is the most important one though. At the start of battle, inflict 1 fracture amplification on the enemy with the highest health. When Arabella activates fractures that she inflicted through an ability, she inflicts 3 fractures on all enemies. So this could proc off of a single target fracture as well. So she has a lot of AoE fracture, but she also has a single target fractures as well. And when she does this, this will always proc 3 fractures on all enemies. This one is just like a good old damage boost to her ulti, right? And this one is each time Arabella inflicts or activates her fractures their ability, gain 1 deconstruction analysis. And this is just like pure damage boost as well. Increases damage amount of Arabella's fractures by 5% up to 30% right here. So maximum success. So once you apply, and this is inflicts or activates her fractures. So once you apply fracture or activate them 6 times, you get the max boost. This one is just another basic boost like the regular E5, E6. When Arabella activates fractures that she inflicted through an ability, additionally inflict 1 fracture on the target inflicted with fracture amplification. So you get another additional fracture as well, and increase the max stacks of deconstruction analysis by 4, and 50% crit damage to the fractures that Arabella inflicts on the fracture. This is the important part here. The 50% crit damage to the fractures that Arabella inflicts on the fracture amplification target. But yeah, so it's just 50% more crit damage, which is absolutely insane. But that's why I also said that if you have the moolah, you should get this girl all the way up, because it's another 10% crit chance, and crit chance is very, very important for this girl in particular, because of the crit damage, the 50% crit damage was at E6. That being said, if you don't have like dupes and stuff or stuff like that, don't worry about it. It's fine. She could function extremely well at E0, especially if you get this card. I think this card is a must for E0. This card right here, Observer's Pleasure, is a must for E0, and even at E2 I still get it because it's at the start of the turn and not just at the start of battle. Alright, but let's see her in action. And let's go to the Nebula Distortion, and let's go to this one. We're going to do Nebula Distortion 9. And we're going to be using these two. We could swap this one out for somebody else. So Tifra, let's swap you out for let's go with no heal. Let's do healless right here, right? Let's do healless, and let's go with Veronica. Where is Veronica? Am I blind? I might be blind. Hello? Okay, so there's Veronica. Oh wait, I don't have a save for her. Okay, well that kind of does it. But I need somebody that has a save that for this season, and I think she has a save. Let me see if she has a save. She does have a save, but not any good ones. But we're just gonna roll with this because she works so well that you don't really need another person. Let's do this one because this one has the initiation exhaust right here. So let's just equip this with with nothing right there. Let's just go in. A little bit of lag. Okay. You see the amplification right there, and this one procs, and then another amplification because I have E2 and that, right? So, oh wait, I'm on auto battle. Let's not do auto battle. Okay, but then let's do initiation, select and draw 1 from the draw pile. Let's add in let's add in Hollow Verdict right here, but before I do Hollow Verdict, I want to do Vortex Arrow and draw 3 cards, and hopefully I draw some good ones into there. Nice. We can do this right here, give us a good shield. And then do we have enough mana? We do have enough mana. So this is add 1 hit for each type of harmful effect. So we got, what do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4, And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this too. Oh, this is move 2 buzzer. I thought this was a weekend, but I think we just do this right here. And then do this right here. And then you see how the dots are critting right here? It's because fractures can crit. So you see how it crit right there? So that's why crit chance and crit damage is important on her, because fractures can crit. But we could do this right here. Crit this. And you got her unique 854 damage. Let's do this right here because we got the stuff. We just dump all the cards in. Very nice. Let's do this as well. This activates because of my equipment. And then this is Gilded. This one adds 6 Agony and 6 Scorch. Let's do that. And then let's draw 1 attack. No, let's do this first right here. And then do this and draw this. And this draws this, which is activate fracture inflicted by this unit, draw 1 card of this unit. So this should be able to kill it right here. Wow, 10,000 crit damage. Fracture activation. Absolutely busted unit. You should definitely pull for her. And she's limited too, so kind of like, you know, hits 2. What's the saying? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone or something like that. Limited, pull her. There you go. But that's the showcase for Arabella. Hope you enjoyed this one, and yep, definitely pull. Have a good one. Peace.